welcome to Burnsy and Co. Now, have you ever seen a film wanting something to be so great that when it hit the screens, you sat there hoping it's going to get better, and after the credits rolled, it made you question, what did I just see? Well, that film was The Last Jedi, and we all know how we felt after that. And Rian Johnson wanted to split the fan base down the middle. Well done, sir. You did it. And it got so bad out there that if you spoke out about it, you were called a racist or a sexist or worse. And it even had an impact on the fantastic Solo film, making it a flop, which was very sad. But has there been enough time passed for us to forget? Nope. JJ is out there right now trying his best to course correct this ship with episode 9, and some are trying to right the wrong of The Last Jedi and are trying to remake it altogether. But for my money, there's one fellow that's re-editing and adding scenes to The Last Jedi to make it the film we wanted, and he's just released his first re-edited trailer, and it got over 112,000 views and many reaction videos popping up on YouTube. So I welcome the awesome Ivan Ortega.
Hi, man. I do not deserve all that praise, but thank you so much.
It was a lot to read out. It's great. Thank you for coming on Radio Free Endor. Now, I want to jump straight into it, Ivan. You know, we all saw The Last Jedi. What made you go, I'm remaking it? You know, I'm re-editing it. I'm going to do these scenes. You know, you're gonna fix that wrong.
Well, you know, it's a funny story because it all started, I watched the film the first time and I was like, I liked it. I have to like it. There's no way I wouldn't. So I saw it a second time. Then I was, oh, please, please, no. And I was just like confirming, trying to get like positive reviews so I could convince myself, because there was this thing in the back of my head. I just cannot not like a Star Wars movie, you know? There's no possible way I don't like a Star Wars movie. Then a friend of mine sent me a link to a recorded version of The Last Jedi that he recorded on his phone on the movie theater from Mexico, which is where I'm from. And he said, dude, what did I just see? And I was like, I don't know. And I just sat there thinking, oh my God, I really don't like this movie. It's atrocious. Mm-hmm. I could do better. Then I looked at the file and I was like, well, I kind of have a file right here. Let's see what I can come up with. And I started just piecing together a couple of scenes. I was like, well, this can work. I think this can work. And then that's when I started seeing the negative reviews, because I was just trying to fool myself. And I saw for the first time how split the community was, and I was like, if I could just remake this movie and give a little smile to this broken community, it would be worth it. And that's how it started. I went to work and I told a couple of friends, hey, I'm gonna re-edit The Last Jedi. I'm like, what? Sure, you are. Sure.
Yeah.
It just morphed into what it is right now.
Well, you know, when I went to see The Last Jedi, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I actually turned around to my friend and went, I kind of enjoyed that. But then as I came home and on the drive home, it was sort of going round my mind. Then I went back and saw it again. Then I was like, no, this ain't a good film. They've totally messed with it. What I thought that Luke Skywalker and what he was going to do to the First Order. And because Luke even says in the film, doesn't he? He says to Rey, what would you like me to do? Come along, wave my hand and annihilate the First Order. And I went, yeah, that's exactly
pretty much.
Yeah, that's what we want to say. So basically, you know, once I started to see your videos put, and it was the reaction trailers that popped up, and I was like, hey, what? So then I went online and I went to your site and I watched the full trailer that you did, and I was like, man, this film looks awesome. And I reposted it and shared it on my site and saying, now this is the film that I want to see. And then I went on to your YouTube channel. I started going through them all. And it's stuff like you're fixed. I've actually put this on a document. I put stuff Ivan has fixed, right? Luke saber tossed, Admiral Akbar is back. Luke mourns Han's death. Rey Kylo fight fixed. Rey Kylo and the Praetorian Guards fight fixed. Canto Bright scene fixed. Flying Leia fixed. Finn sacrificed. Oh god. Right. And the Last Jedi ending fixed. Man, that's a lot you've gone through. That's a lot. But it's not only you're just re-editing bits, that you're actually you're going to be reshooting a little bit. Yeah, because I saw that you're even practicing with the lightsabers, having you to film. You're going to get the costumes. Then you've even got voiceover actors. My God, you are really going to town with this.
And you know, it all it was never planned to be this intricate. It was never meant to be like this.
Yeah.
But I posted my first fix and the response was great. And I was just, oh, you know what? It would be cool if I did this. How could I do it? Well, what if I just get a voice actor? What if I did this? And the one thing that I was looking for the most was the fight between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. We got a subverted expectation of a good movie. So I decided, well, there is one frame that lasts a second where Kylo Ren is facing Luke Skywalker and it's their profile and it's a silhouette shot and they're like kind of from far away. You know who they are because the shot is laid out like that. If I could erase them from that background and just use that background and record a fight, I think I could pull it off. And that's when I talked to my friend Steven. I said, hey, dude, what if we put up a fight and just recorded a one-shot fight, a 3-minute one-shot fight on only one background? What would you say to that? It's like, it's crazy, but let's do it.
I know. I saw you practicing, and you was going backwards and forwards, and you had the shorter lightsabers. Then you didn't you get the longer ones, and then you were really battering them. I've got one of them, and I didn't hit anything with that. And there you are, really giving it some. And I was thinking, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see this all put together. Now,
that's really the hope.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start from the beginning, right? Of these fixes, right? So Luke tosses his saber. When I first saw that, I was like, no, he would never have done that. He would never have done that. That is just not on, right? And of course, you probably thought the same because you changed it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a betrayal of the character. So today we're going to be looking at one of the scenes that turned off a lot of people from the movie. And that is when Luke Skywalker tosses his lightsaber over his shoulder. Now what I'm going to try to do with this scene is to give it more weight, to give it some sort of reality, especially build the character of Luke Skywalker. This is the first time that we see Luke in the movie. So we need to establish the character of Luke Skywalker. If we give off that Luke Skywalker is something completely different from what we expect, and the movie will become inconsistent because you have such a fickle character.
But it's the way you did it. You just, as simple as just reversing that bit of footage where she hands him, so it looks like she's handing, and the way you've edited it. I thought to myself, that looked like just quite a simple fix, but worked. You know what I mean? That was so good. And you also, on that beginning scene, do you know when they're on the Rebel base and Carrie Fisher's daughter looks at them, she goes, oh, they're here or whatever. And I was there with you on that one when you said you don't need them to say they're there because you just heard them and you're seeing them.
We get to see the soldiers walking.
Forget the munitions, there's no time. Just get everyone on the transport. Oh no.
And then the ships arrive. Now, what is the thing here? Instead of the movie keep flowing and just let us react to the characters, they tell us how we should react. And that's why we have this pause of her going, oh no.
On the transport. Oh no.
We already know that it's a oh no, so we don't really need that. We just want the scene to keep going. And it's because of these little things that the movie feels so long. So what I decided to do was simply remove that reaction and just let us embrace the danger.
There's no time. Just get everyone on the transport.
So that way, the last thing we see is her reaction like, oh crap. And then we see the ships. That way, the movie gets started sooner.
These little changes that you're making are just, it's like, oh, how come nobody picked that up in editing themselves? Do you know what I mean? How big Lucasfilm is, and no one, there again, I'm surprised this actually went through a story group, Drew.
I am too. And as far as I know, it was, I mean, a lot of people say, well, you know, it is the editor's fault because he is the one that put the movie together. But Rian Johnson handpicked his editor that worked with him on Looper. So I know the decision making was still Rian Johnson's. And look, I am no one to say, oh, I could do better, like in all honesty, because I don't have a movie credit for Star Wars, obviously. But I am one to say that edit looks wrong, or I know a bit of storytelling to change this to what I think.
Yeah.
It's a better storytelling, and people can disagree or agree with me. So far, very few have disagreed.
I don't think you'll find a lot of people disagreeing with you at all. It's, from what I've seen with the fixes that you've done, like what we said with Luke tossing the saber, he wouldn't have done that. Not the Luke that we've all grown up with. He would not have done that. You fixed it, and now when you watch it, you think, yeah, that's right. That works. And wait, if you're watching something and it works, then it works. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna just sit there and go, no, he wouldn't have done that. Oh, she would have did that. Who's that? No, they wouldn't have done that. That's the thing with The Last Jedi. It's so many. Oh God. It just. I've got it. I went out and bought. Well, I actually got it as a Christmas present. Not Christmas present, sorry, a birthday present. But it's still on the shelf. I've not even bothered playing it. I'm thinking, and I haven't even showed the video to my wife, have I? No. So I'm going to wait for yours, and I'm going to show her yours. I want her.
It is amazing how because I honestly didn't think that this was going to reach out to the hearts of people like it did to me. I could see that people were frustrated with the movie, but now that there is something that at least could be maybe not excellent, but at least watchable, where you're not going to regret spending your time on it. I think I've heard from many people like, hey, I'm not gonna show my kids The Last Jedi until you give out the last version. And it's just like, damn.
Like, I know. That's a lot of weight. Yeah, you've got to do it, or there'll be a lot of people pounding on your door.
No. And trust me, it is that is the plan. And the only thing that I'm missing, like, the movie is pretty much complete. The only thing that is left is shooting the fight scene. And how life is. Steven has his job, I have my job, and we practice this whenever we can, and we both practice martial arts, and we've got injured, so we have to stop for a minute, and the costumes are done to my knowledge, and it's just going to another state, driving to another state to go and get them, and then shooting the fight. But once that is done, and once the special effects go into it, that's it.
My God, I can't wait for this. Going back to the fixes as well, the flying Leia bit.
Yes.
Right? God, I was speaking to Paul Bateman, and he's worked for Lucasfilms himself, and he was telling me that, he's spoken to an awful lot of people, and they just didn't like it. But that Leia scene, my God, it's got to be one of the worst scenes I've ever seen on cinema, especially Star Wars. And I said to him, and because he said to me an idea for a fix on that, and then I said my idea, and my idea was, for the simple fact is, she being in the Force, right, she sensed the missile coming to destroy the bridge, So as the bulkhead blew out, she turned around and used the force to bring the bulkhead back until the crew could escape. And then, then somebody grabbed her and pulled her out as then the bulkhead flew out. And I said that to him, and he said, "Oh God, that's really good." And I was like, "Yeah, any idea is better than the one."
Anything could have been better, yes.
Yeah, and you fixed that as well. You know what I mean? With the little scenes that you did, that's got to have been a difficult scene to fix.
It was very challenging just trying to come up with an idea on how to fix it, because there's so many things that go into considering fixing this thing, because you need to think, okay, I could fix this. I could make it to where Luke is the one helping her. I could make it to where she dies. I could make it to a lot of things. But now that is fixing just the scene. I need to think on how do I fix the scene and still make sense of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So that was the challenging part. And how can I give also some gravitas to Kylo? How can I make it appealing? It's just like, Ryan Johnson, why? I've talked to many people as well that have suggested, why didn't this happen? Why couldn't it be this? Why couldn't it be that? And it's just like every single of those ideas is way better of what happened, and they're. Those guys in Hollywood, they're the ones getting paid for it. It's just like, how didn't you get anything better other than a cheap-looking Mary Poppins wannabe?
Yeah. I always thought, because when it happened in the cinema, I was like, oh my God, they've killed her. Right there, they've done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I thought, because she has passed away, I thought, okay, I'm okay with it. I'm good. And I thought, that's the way they should do it. And then all of a sudden, she comes back in that mirror, and I was like, "Oh man!"
So they're gonna kill her again?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like they had a perfect opportunity right there, but they didn't take it because they said they filmed those other scenes towards the end, and Kerry's performance was really, heartbreaking and felt with, especially with Luke. If that was the case, in my mind, Ivan, then they shouldn't have gone ahead with what happened with Flying Leia. You know what I mean? If they wanted to keep that scene at the end, they shouldn't have done that scene. They should have done it where she was out and she just walked out as the bulkhead blew out or something. Do you know what I mean? That's how I would have. And that way you've still got her walking about, or she could have been slightly injured, and then you've got that end scene. And plus, the passage of time in this film is just not good. Because I said to my friends, I says, this is got to be the slowest space chase ever.
Yep, it is.
And why isn't somebody in the First Order going, you know what, we could just go into hyperdrive, forward, and then, quick second or two, and, hey, we've got them, blast them. No, don't do that. We're just going to stay here and sort of tease them as we're going along.
Yeah. The First Order, they're such a tease.
Yeah. There was just major problems all along. But in my humble opinion, I thought that basically, do you know the world that JJ had set up, with Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren and all these other aspects for the second film, and like Ryan Johnson's just coming and gone, no, you're out with that. No, we don't like that. We don't like that. We don't like that. It's like with Finn, he sort of didn't know what to do with Finn, and he didn't really spend any time trying to figure out what Finn is. So that's why you've got that really awful Canto Bright scenes. Do you know what I mean? And and I'm glad you fixed that, Mater. I am so glad you fixed that, because BB-8 seems to be this weird, immortal, can do anything droid. You know what I mean? I know R2 can do so, but because R2 was like a practical droid during the original filming, he couldn't do all this magical stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where BB-8 is, what? Because he's even got a little thing that pops his head out.
He's the best fighter in the entire movie. He's the best fighter.
Yeah, they might just send him out. You know what I mean? BB-8, go and kill the First Order.
He'll do it.
He would, because he even got that walker, didn't he? He was just blasting everyone. You know what I mean? I was thinking, that droid certainly doesn't know the 3 laws of droids, does it?
I know.
I'm just going to blast everyone. Yeah, but you know, the film is what it is at the end of the day. But I just wish aspects of the Force Awakens. Why didn't he just follow up and let the story carry on? Not we'll totally rewrite this, blah 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 blah. And I think half of it is because JJ he should have he should have brought Luke in more, because he left Luke right on that last scene. It literally left a blank canvas for Rian Johnson to do anything he wanted, and he did. You know what I mean? Especially when he said he was going to polarize the fan base. Well, he did it. You know what I mean? He absolutely did it. But I don't know if you saw these little videos of him talking with Mark Hamill. You could tell Mark Hamill was not happy about the way his character is portrayed.
No, not at all. No.
You just think, you know, he's in it for the paycheck. And I generally do believe once all of it's all done and Mark Hamill steps away, you're going to find out. He's going to come out and go, yeah, I hated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's horrible to think that something that so many fans have wanted, and just because of that one film. Trouble is, it's out there now, isn't it, Ivan? You know what I mean? Even though you're doing this fantastic fix, it's out there. It's, you know, it's in the collection, and everyone's going to go, oh, God, the weakest one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly. And you know, people say, oh, well, Solo was worse than this. But no, Solo wasn't an insult to storytelling.
No, I thought it was okay. I went in proper with not thinking it's going to be anything really good. And I come out going, God, that was not a bad film. I quite enjoyed that. You know what I mean? It had the certain Star Wars feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I liked Solo. I thought Solo was a good film. And unfortunately, because of the damage done by The Last Jedi, that flopped.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't because of The Last Jedi, I'm sure Solo would have made its money and double.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going back onto these fixes, Ivan, out of all these fixes that you've done, like with the Leia, the app bar one, absolutely loved it. What was you thinking about the app bar one?
Well, I'm very happy the way it turned out. And I just, you know, never in a Star Wars have we seen a movie that introduced so many new characters and gave them so much attention. Example, Holdo, Rose Tico, Jake Skywalker, you know. And so in the theater, I was just sitting like, what are they going to do with Akbar? Because obviously Akbar is there. They have to do something with him. Yeah. And then Holdo is... When I first watched it, I completely missed because they didn't give him not even a proper burial, you know? It was just like, oh yeah, and Akbar is dead too. It's just like, wait a minute. Wait. No. Did you just say that? Like, I missed it the first time, but the second time, I was
missed it.
Oh my God, that's how they killed him? Really? Like, you couldn't think of anything else? Like, really, you couldn't think of anything else? Wow. All right. So that's when I was like, it could work if I bring Akbar back and make Holdo the subordinate, you know, and just try to have Akbar as a plot device into giving an excuse for all the stupid reasons that Holdo makes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm with you on this one. When Akbar died, I missed it. It was only, I was like, that was quick. And just like no one even mourned him or anything. You know what I mean? Oh, he's gone. Oh, never mind. You know what I mean? And especially to what happened to Holder, yeah. To introduce her as a fresh new character, then for her to sacrifice herself meant nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like, who are you? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yeah. And even Poe goes, is that the General Holden? You know, like, we don't know. Oh, is this a comic book I've got to buy later on to explain all this?
Yeah, I know.
But for you to put Admiral Akbar, you know, in that place where it's his sacrifice, how did they miss that? Now, I mean, that seemed so obvious in the storytelling, and plus it would have been so powerful. And even though it's just the rough cut that I saw on your YouTube channel, man, that was powerful. That was powerful stuff.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, there's nothing that I didn't like on this, I have to say. That's the thing. There's nothing on this, on all of it that I didn't like. You know what I mean? I loved it all. Now, like the Canto Bright scenes, how you've shortened that,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, because even your explanation about why you've shortened it seems so obvious to me, and I couldn't have put it better myself.
Anyways, there are many problems with the scene of Canto Bight. So what I'm going to try is to solve most of those problems and make the scene do what the scene needs to do. And it's so obvious that it's jarring to the view. They are hammering the fact that these people are rich and that you shouldn't relate to them, and it doesn't really work. Now, this scene, not only is it long, but it's also draggy because it stops in its tracks to give you this message. Now, if you want to make this message, make a movie about it and tell a story about the message. Now, as you remember the emotional message of Rose about, animal abuse and capitalism and all of that, when we come out, we see them at the porch, and Rose is like, oh, I've never seen these creatures before, and she seems somewhat excited. So it always seemed jarring to me, the fact that she was so excited, and then out of the blue, oh, I've never seen this before, but it's bad, look at it, oh, it's so bad. So I wanted to keep that little bit of excitement and then just build upon it to find a way to cut around the don't just say the message for people to buy in. That will distract your audience, and then the movie will become draggy and heavy, and you're going to feel it, and we all felt it.
Stop flip-flopping. You know what I mean? But you cut that whole scene out and made it right. So, anyway, on these fixes then, Ivan, what are your favourite ones out of them? Which one have you gone, oh, God, that's bang on. That's the one.
I would say Luke tossing his lightsaber, actually giving it to Rey, and Luke training Rey, because I did a training montage for Rey, explaining how she got that powerful, by actual training. So those are my favorite, only because I feel like that's what the real Luke Skywalker would have done.
And also, you fixed the ending as well. When I watched the film, when the Falcon took off, that's to me where they had that bit of a chat with Leia, and then the Falcon jumped into hyperspace. That is where I thought the film would get end, but they did this little bit scene with the kid and everything. To me, Ivan, I don't know if you agree with me on this one. To me, that if it was a Marvel film, that scene would have been at the end of the credits. But because Star Wars doesn't have an end of credit sting, they put it right there.
I never thought about it that way. Never. And yes, it does make a lot of sense. It would be the post-credit scene. Who's this kid? Let's start theorizing about it. Oh, is this a new Jedi or something like that? Because that was just a tease. That was a tease for nothing. And yeah, I never thought about it until right now that you're bringing it up, and it makes a lot of sense.
And it was awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
It was just awful. But
horrible.
your fix was better. Do you do these scenes in order, as you've watched the film, or have you done them out of sequence? You've just picked bits that you think you could work on and jump backwards and forwards?
Honestly, it goes very randomly. When I first started, fixing all of these things, I was just mostly seeing, okay, I know I can do this, so let me do it, and then I would rewatch the movie and be like, okay, what can I do? What can I do new? Then I would rewatch it again, and I would, oh, maybe I could do this. And then I would rewatch it again, be like, okay, yeah, if I made this, then this would make sense. And every time, like every 3 or 4 rewatching of The Last Jedi, I would come up with a different fix for a movie.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up watching this movie 60 times now.
My God, 60 times.
60.
My God. And you've also got put new music in, haven't you, for scenes, which makes sense. Because I was just thinking, oh God, if I've edited an awful lot of stuff myself, and getting that scene to flow with because you haven't got just like a dialogue only version. You know, you've got the version that we've all got. So you know, if you cut a scene, whatever sound effects or music's just gonna stop. You know what I mean, and then or go again. But you've managed to get around that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been challenging. Sometimes there's scenes that I couldn't be able to replace the music unless I made my own sound effects, and I have to like, I am no sound editor, but I've had to learn it in order to pull some of these things off, like with the voiceovers and all the sound effects and all the atmosphere, and trying to match the room tone to the room tone of the actual movie. It has been a trip. It has been a trip.
Yeah. And when you say tone, you've sort of corrected the tone of the film what was before, as in The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, the tone of the characters stays the same. You know what I mean? So which that's got to be hard.
I mean, that's something, you know. I had to also consider the fact that The Force Awakens existed. You know, I needed to make it consistent with that one as well. So had to watch The Force Awakens a couple of times to just like refresh my mind, and just like I wanted Rey to be this way, but it's like I can't because it would be inconsistent with The Force Awakens, you know. So I had to stay in the realm of possibilities of the characters themselves, because I think I am with this edit, I'm giving Rey, Finn, Poe, all of these new characters the respect that they didn't even get on this movie.
Have you once you finish this film, have you thought about doing like The Force Awakens, probably, or you're looking forward to episode 9, thinking, what can I fix on this one?
I did, you know, when I watched Solo, I was like, I can fix this. Like, I can fix Solo, and I already know what I would do to it. It's
really?
Yeah, and I would like my biggest fix on Solo would be fixing Han Solo's name, like how he got his name.
God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Definitely, that would be the main one. But honestly, I kept on thinking, okay, what's happening after this? What's happening after this? And I just kind of got so caught up in thinking of the what after that for like a month. I kind of neglected even this other movie. So I was like, you know what? Nope. Let me just focus on this one. Once I'm done, I'll focus on the next one.
Yeah. Do you know you've got like I said, over 112,000 views? That's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Let me just check with right here, right now. Let's do a quick check of you. How many people like it? How many people disagree with it?
Yeah.
Right. So you've got 12K, right, up, and you've got 497 that go, no, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, but 12,000 people have gone, yeah, love it, absolutely love it. And you know, when you do some of when you see the reaction videos, man, it's like watching people fall in love with a brand spanking new Star Wars film all over again.
Yeah, it's unreal.
It's crazy, especially, you know, now you heard about that group on Twitter that want to properly remake it. That ain't you, is it?
No, I don't think I even heard of that, actually.
Really? It's on Twitter, and it's actually I think it's at Remake The Last Jedi. I don't know if I've seen anything lately, but it was quite big. Now, I mean, they said we're going to do a big budget and everything, but you've beat them.
Well, you know, I actually now that you're mentioning it, yes, I did hear about it. And I even talked to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and we were like, "Is this thing legit?" I don't know, man. What do you think? I don't know. So we just, you know, took it with a grain of salt. Like, all right, if they do it, great. If they beat me to it, fantastic. If they don't, then, there's plenty of re-edits out there that are in my, like, I mean, this is just assuming. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, the best editor there is, and I'm sure that there's another editor out there that has already done The Last Jedi, but probably didn't think about going into YouTube to show, the actual process, and that's the only difference between him and I, but he has a way better version. Like, I don't know. That might be the case. Who knows? The point is that this is not a competition, and I want to see as many remakes as possible of the entire movie, not just of scenes. So I was really excited, thinking, okay, these guys are going to like reshoot it entirely. That seems ambitious. I really want to see this happening, and then it just kind of died.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just looking at it now, and nothing's moving on it, considering they had such a big push, and they said they had a proper budget with it. There was actually real cash waiting to do it, and I was thinking, oh, this could be interesting. I don't think Disney would let it. You know what I mean? There'd probably be one of those weird Spanish films you see on.
No joke.
Yeah, but well, like I say, you've beat them, and now when this version comes out, basically, you're going to have the whole film in the way it should have been presented, how people wanted it. Do you think your version will split the fan base?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I hope it doesn't. Like, I'm sure it's going to, like, some people that are really expecting it, like really looking forward to it, probably they're gonna watch and be like, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. Like, at the end of the day, it's just me doing the best that I can with what I have.
Yeah.
And but I'm sure, like, at least I was able to remind people that, we love Star Wars not because of who it's been owned by, but because we are what keeps it alive, Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think I'm sure there's people that are not going to like it, and people are like, I have my own subreddit dedicated to hate of me, like, I just found out, like, probably 2 days ago that on Reddit, like, there's a subreddit dedicated to just hate me, and it's like, oh my god, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. I love you guys. Like, you clearly have watched my video, so thank you for that ad revenue,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just hope that is at least watchable for the people that cannot watch The Last Jedi at all.
Yeah, at the end of the day, 497 people who gave it the thumbs down and didn't like it watched it. That's for sure.
That's something.
Yeah, so it's all positive, isn't it? Yeah. So how can, once it's all done, of course, you can't sell it or anything like that. How can you distribute? How can people get their hands on it to view it? That's the main question.
That is definitely the main question, and it's actually it's going to be pretty, in a way, simple. There's going to be two ways that I'm thinking of doing this. Number one is going to be on my own website, just saying, hey, guess what? It's there. Click on the link down below. Go to my website and watch it, and you have to agree that you own, in fact, a copy, a digital or a physical copy of The Last Jedi, and you can watch it. If you click and you agree, it's not on me, it's on you if you have it or not. Because once you, by copyright laws, if you own the movie in any way, shape, or form, if you actually bought it, if you gave money, then it is not a crime committed. Because I'm not distributing it since you already have it. So people are going to be like, okay, it's on me now, so yeah, it's on you, or I will have it on someone else's website. But it's going to be on a website that you can just click, I agree, and there you go.
When are you expecting to have it all done?
I honestly don't know. I am probably going to go to Alabama. That's where the guy that is doing the costumes this weekend with Steven. And this is something that I just recently said on a live stream of mine. Once we have the costumes and we shoot the fight, and you guys know that we have the costumes and we're training on the costumes, then the next trailer, the next and final trailer will have the date, and you'll be able to see when it's going to be. I hope that is before the end of this year. And if it's not, I might decide to do it as soon as possible. But I honestly cannot. I couldn't tell you. I just know that it's not going to be one of those things that I'm not going to be, direct about it. I'm telling you, like, I want this thing done. I want to get to work on Solo. I want to re-edit some other stuff. But I gotta be honest with myself and say, I want to give you guys quality. There's thousands of people that are expecting this. Initially, it was going to be for just my friends and me, but now the stakes are higher, and I want to give you the best possible movie, something that is worth having on a Blu-ray.
Absolutely. I don't mind waiting for this, Ivan, because you've done such a good job. It's one of these things I'm thinking, this is going to be great. I can't wait, but I am willing to wait because I want you to do the best job you can.
Thank you.
And I think so far, you've not gone wrong. You've absolutely, so far making people's dreams a reality. You know what I mean? And so absolutely keep going back and refining it, because at the end of the day, there's no time limit. You know what I mean? You're not doing a premiere in like 2 weeks' time or anything like that. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of time, and of course, people can go to your website and to your YouTube site to carry on getting these updates, because even the updates are really, really good. And the way you present yourself on your video intro sort of thing is fantastic. I love it how that on the beginning of your videos you always go, and this video was brought to you by
and then something else.
Absolutely have me cracking up. I think that is genius, absolute genius. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
You do such a good job, and especially how do you do that recording and your screen? I just do audio. I don't do video. But you do the click and you are recording it. And then have you got like a screen recorder and a video recorder? So not only are you editing, this is the beauty of you. You not only you're doing the film, but then you've got to edit your little videos.
Yeah,
man, you've got a lot to work. I do a podcast. I do this podcast. I do it once a month, and I feel like I'm under pressure all the time for once a month, because I always do like a nice story intro, and then I've got to put it all together, and I want it to be fantastic. And there is bigger and better Star Wars podcasts out there, I have to say. You know what I mean? And they do it on a weekly basis. And all good for them. They do a cracking job, and fair enough. But my little chunk of the Star Wars universe, I like to take my time, and I like to do the best I can. And like yourself, the quality is there, and with your videos and everything, absolute quality. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So there was another thing I just wanted to ask you about. Did you see the tweet that Ryan Johnson put out like a week ago? Not even a week ago. He likes to jump up out of the underground. Just like pop his head up and tweet. And he said, hot take, Luke is in fact 100% consistent with his character. Not the way he described in the marketing blurb, but his actual based on his words and actions character from the OT. I'll be at the bar if you need me. And what?
Well,
where did he get that from?
I would say, Ryan, if that's the case, I would not waste time at a bar. Instead, I would go to film school, because you definitely need it.
Do you think, Ivan, from what we've, because you do an awful lot of Star Wars videos, and you also speak to Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers, and the Star Wars girl, is it?
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of your live streams. I've not stuck around for the whole lot because I'm pretty busy, but I do jump in now and again. Do you think that, because you speak with them as well, do you get the feeling that Ryan Johnson is still going to make his new trilogy? Or do you think they're just going to, the exit is through the gift shop, mate?
I hope he does. I honestly hope he does. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I don't really know how Hollywood works. So all I can say is that I know what it is to be without a job. So I hope that Ryan has one because no one should be without one. And if he does, it's only going to help me because I might end up fixing them. And it's 3 movies, you know?
Oh, that's a point now. That's a good point now. They're going to be bringing out, of course, you've got the Mandalorian TV that's coming out. And now they've announced the Cassian Anderson TV series. Are you going to fix any of these? Are you going to dive into TV world and start fixing these?
If I do, it's going to be after I do Iron Fist from the Marvel Netflix series.
Ooh, now that's it. which series are you going to do? Series 1 or season 2? Because
I'm going to.
Was a bit like, oh, season 2 was better.
My thought is combining season 1 and season 2 into an Iron Fist movie.
Ooh, that could be quite good. Will you be sticking elements of the Defenders in as well?
I am hoping I do. Like I still haven't given it a whole lot of thought into it because I'm trying to focus on the current one. But yeah, for sure it would be absolutely nice to be able to have an Iron Fist complete movie that at the end that probably ends with a tease of the Defenders that or something like that. I don't know yet, but
well, if you're gonna do it right, I would say that for one, you're gonna have to dye your hair blonde, so you can proper do some more real good fighting. Because there's one thing I thought about the season 1 of Iron Fist was, man, that guy, he's a Brit. I must admit, he's a Brit. But his choreography in that film, in that series, was just crap. You know what I mean? It's like he just got off the beach. Hey, could you just do some punches? Yeah, I can do some punches for you, mate. Yeah, great. I mean, oh, don't worry, we'll just fix it in post. No, we couldn't fix it in post. Just ship it out. But at least he had some training for season 2, so it sort of looked better. Or it was quicker or closer in for the editing. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just the fighting on season 1 was just like, what's going on here? But unfortunately, it's been cancelled now, hasn't it? As well as Luke Cage as well.
Yeah, and I am absolutely shocked that was that happened because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't surprised that Iron Fist got cancelled at all. I mean, I am a fan of Iron Fist. I'm probably one of the biggest fans of Iron Fist of all. Not saying that the series are great, but I followed the comics since I was in Mexico. I grew up with that character, and he's my favorite superhero. So I'm just thankful that there's an Iron Fist show in this world, But yeah, I'm not surprised that it got canceled. But now, Luke Cage had the ratings, had the social relevance,
Yeah.
And it got canceled. So it's like, what?
I couldn't believe that. I really could not believe they cancelled Luke Cage because I thought that was really good. I really did think that was really, really good. I'll probably cut this bit out, actually, Ivan, right? Because if you're a big Iron Fist, there's one question that it confused me with season 2. Perhaps you can answer it, right? Iron Fist had his powers taken off him. Then he sort of didn't give him. He had him transferred into his girlfriend, so she had the White Fist. And then at the end, he had 2 Iron Fists. What was all that about? I couldn't get it. And then his gun turned into an iron weird. What? I'm not too familiar with that. I didn't get it.
Well, it's because they try to have their cake and eat it too. Number one, you cannot transfer the power of the Iron Fist to anyone. In the comics, Davos gets his powers by dark magic that resemble the powers of the Iron Fist, but cannot. It is just similar. It's just a copy,
Yeah.
Then, you do need some of the power of the Iron Fist in order to do that. Now, the fact that they had Colleen receive the power of the Iron Fist into a White Fist, that was an absolute travesty. That has never happened in the comics. That was completely out of the blue. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, so that was made up for this
That was
TV
completely
show.
made up. And now,
right, gotcha.
the fact that Danny Rand at the end of the series has two Iron Fists, right? Well, that in the comics happens when he meets the Iron Fist before him, called Orson Randall, who they mention at the bar in the series.
Oh, they do, yeah.
He was an Iron Fist that fought in World War II, and he was one of the first Iron Fists to be able to control the fist with both of his hands and eventually all of his body.
Ah, right.
And then
so you could channel it all to yourself from the fist all over you. Ah, right, got it. Now,
yeah.
It makes sense.
But in order to do that, he had to go through a lot, and I mean a lot. So he found out that some Iron Fists were able to channel his chi through their weapons. Like, for example, they reference the Pirate Queen, which was a female Iron Fist, and she used her chi channeling through her bow and arrow and stuff like that. So he channeled his chi through his guns to fight in World War II. He didn't use bullets. He would shoot chi out of his guns. And they were just, he was brutal. And I was like, oh my God, that is great. So when Danny Rand meets him, he teaches Danny Rand how to do all of this stuff. And it's such a Luke Skywalker apprentice, like Obi-Wan, like Qui-Gon Jinn teaches Obi-Wan Kenobi how to do stuff. And it's absolutely great to see in the comics. And then eventually, once, spoiler alert, Orson Randall dies. Now Danny can access the full chi of the Iron Fist, and he is himself able to create both fists automatically.
All right.
And I thought they were going to do that for season 3, and they didn't.
Yeah. Well, to your layman who's only follows the Netflix show, I thought this is how it played out to me was that. Because he went away without having the Iron Fist and suddenly he had two, I thought, has he took the power from two people that had the Iron Fist? That's what it took, and I thought to myself, surely they've got to understand that not a lot of people follow the Iron Fist compared to the other Marvel people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it needs some kind of explanation, but they never did it. They just thought, well, everyone know. I'm glad you've explained it, Ivan, because I didn't know that. It makes it so much better now. I wish they hadn't cancelled it.
No, and even with that, it's kind of weird because how did he learn to do this? And it's Orson that, like, they're looking for Orson, the guy that can do the thing that Danny does. Now, Orson Randall sticks out because he always wears a trench coat, and Danny's wearing a trench coat. So how are they going to introduce a character when another character that hasn't met this character is already adopting what makes the character unique? Even that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, strange. That was strange. But, I thought, a lot of people thought, especially with a show on Netflix don't really cancel anything. Do you know what I mean? Sort of just runs and runs and runs until it just runs out. You know what I mean? But for them to suddenly say, yeah, we're cancelling it, that was a bit of a shock, especially being Marvel. But do you think this is a part of Disney, that Disney want to start reining them back in for the Disney Plus? Do you think that's what it's going to be?
Of course. They want Netflix to run out of content so people can go to the Disney streaming service. And Netflix is like, oh, you want to play? Let's play. Let's do it.
Yeah, because it's Netflix that pay for these shows, isn't it? It's them that got the license to do these shows. They're not because I was thinking, because I see Black Lightning on the lineup. That he means absolutely nothing to me. I don't know anything about him, but I thought, is that just the CW episodes that have just been bought by Netflix to play? Because if it's a CW, then I'm going to stay away because I just can't be doing with more CW superheroes stuff. It's just going mad with that. You know what I mean? So I don't. When it comes to superheroes on Netflix, I'm thinking, what's paid by. It seemed to me that when Netflix pays for it, it's good. Because Daredevil season 3, I think it is, absolutely brilliant.
It was absolutely beautiful. Yes,
really done. It was so well done. and they've changed Bullseye, haven't they? They've changed his origin story.
Yes, they did. And honestly, I am very happy with it. I am very happy.
Yeah, I loved it, the way they've done it. The ending, though, with the spoilers on this one, I know this is Star Wars, but we're going into Marvel, right? Are you familiar with Bullseye, the character for the comic books? Yeah. Now, I was, but I never seen anything like that where he's had his back broke. Is that in the comics?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, Bullseye has always been this side character. They never even paid so much attention to his origin or how he is the way he is. And that's an example of how you change a character, but if you do it right, then you've earned it. You've earned the change, not just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, also, is there going to be a season 2 of The Punisher? I think there is, isn't there?
Yes, there is going to be.
I hope they don't cancel that, because I loved The Punisher.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I love the Punisher is one of my. It's not on the top 5 superheroes, but out of the gritty, the superheroes, I like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the Punisher because I've seen films as I've been growing up. Forget about the Dolph Lundgren one, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the Thomas Jane one, or Jane Thomas to Jumpstone. When he was ace in it. And did you ever see the little short YouTube video he did of a sequel to The Punisher?
No, I never.
Oh, right. It's on YouTube, and it's called I think it's called Laundry Day. Yeah, and it's got Thomas Jane as the Punisher, and it's also got Ron Perlman in. He's in it as well.
All right.
Yeah, and it's only about 10-15 minutes long, but he's Thomas Jane's actually used his own money to film it. As like a continuation of the character, because he loved that character himself, and he did say that he always wanted to play the Punisher again, but unfortunately never went that way.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. Well, that's Marvel talk for you. Welcome to the Marvel podcast. So that's great, absolutely fantastic. Right then, do you know what's been fantastic, Ivan? Right, talking to you. How have you got like a Patreon site, or how can our listeners get in contact with you and support you and view you?
Well, the biggest support is always going to be just watching the videos on YouTube. Always. On Patreon, I do have a Patreon page. It's called Film Fix. Very very easy to find, and a lot of people might think, oh, you're going to release the movie on Patreon, or the patrons get to see what the YouTube doesn't, and that is actually not true. Yeah. But what the patrons do get to see is more in-depth content, and not only Star Wars content, because I go more into detail of the editing process. For example, what you see on YouTube as a fixed scene, I do on Patreon, and it's a 1 hour long video of me figuring out how to fix the scene. Like, I've also fixed, if you're interested, I fixed the trailer for Solo. Before the movie came out, and that's a video on Patreon, and I just brought it up. So like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Let's figure it out. And I just watched it over and over again, and I give my thoughts behind it. So for people to go and expect that you're going to see something that is not going to be shown on YouTube, just know that at the end of the day, YouTube is going to always be the main site where you can see my stuff.
That's great. That's great. Are you on Twitter and all that, on Facebook, of course?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Ivan Filmfix, and on Instagram at ivan.ortega.filmfix.
That is fantastic. Well, it's, like I say, Ivan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Radio Free Endor.
Thank you so much.
And it's just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing such a good thing. It's like holy work.
Thank you so very much.
That's brilliant. That's
very happy
brilliant.
You liked it.
Oh, great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And like I said, you're doing a fantastic job. for the listeners, yeah, definitely go over to your Patreon page. Definitely over to your YouTube page. We'll stick some links on our show notes as well, so our listeners can get over there and support you. And well, we just can't wait for this film to come out. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So all the best, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right, no worries. You take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.